So, X-Men Red just came out, written by Al Ewing, and it seems that we're finally leading to a war against the mutants from Amneth, led by Genesis, and she has come back to Arakko to reclaim her throne, to rule again. But the funny thing is, she now has the Annihilation staff. If you remember in the event of X of Swords, it was the Annihilation Helm. And when Apocalypse faced off, and they resolved that whole war, which was, for me, the best event we've had in years from Marvel. It was really interesting. Now she has come back. So, what really went down in X-Men Red number 12? So we start with a werewolf with the two heads in the Great Ring. They are talking about increasing their numbers. They have reduced. They're trying to get Arakko back to strong footing. So he's called Lycon, the werewolf with two heads. He's basically there pleading his case that he wants to be part of the Great Ring. And he's basically like a joke. He's basically there for comic relief. And they're also there to listen to John Ironfire, the one who was part of the 100. If you remember the past few issues from X-Men, John Ironfire was part of the 100, that mutant who resurrects other mutants. His mutant power is basically to resurrect mutants, and when he resurrects them, they're part of him. So now, John Ironfire is there. He has come to warn the Great Ring of Arakko that the Annihilation are coming, and they're being led by Genesis. So he's there to get ready to face them. As he's talking, Genesis shows up. Genesis, as we all know, she's the wife to Apocalypse, and she's now the one who has the Annihilation staff right now. So she comes there. She's talking to all of the mutants, all who are present. We have Storm, we have Lactac of the Stars, we have Lodas, we have Sobuna, we have Silo, and then we have a new mutant. I've never seen him before. Maybe you can catch me up. Kobak. He's a new member of the Great Ring. So she comes there and she's basically very displeased. She's not happy how Arakko has fallen. You know, when they were in Amneth, they were very strong. And if you know anything about the Araki mutants, their main philosophy is survival for the fittest, and this world is falling for the strong over the weak. So they value power and strength. So she comes to Arakko. Things have changed. They've adopted these new ways from Krakoa, and she's not happy. And she's now listing maybe the past events which had happened, the war with the Eternals, and how they faced Uranus. They didn't kill him, they just caged him. They said that if it was her, they would have killed him, but they didn't kill him, they only caged him. And how they depended on humans and older men. And Arakko are very proud. They rather deal with those issues by themselves. So it was very interesting now seeing her come back. And she's now facing the Great Ring. Now, while she's saying these words, something interesting to note was the staff, the Annihilation staff. As you know, it has this power to influence the person who has it. So during the X of Swords events, that time it was called the Annihilation Helm. The Annihilation Helm, it affected the one who wore it. But now, when it was changed now to the Annihilation staff, it now whispers words, and those words affect those around it in its vicinity. So when Genesis is confronting the Great Ring, and she's talking about all the things that she's displeased with, the staff is whispering a few words to sway the ones who are present, to make them guilty, to make them embarrassed, to make them shameful. As you can see with Sobuna, the mutant of water, or who controls the water life, he's feeling shameful, and you can see those words are affecting him. Even Ora Serata, she says, what did I hear? So for me personally, I don't know if Genesis is aware of the influence of the staff, and she knows it and she's using it to her advantage, or she's completely oblivious to it and only those around them are affected. So then they have like a mini battle there. Jon-Arn Fire rushes to Genesis to strike her down, but of course it doesn't work. Genesis is one of the Omega mutants, and she was the leader of the Great Ring for a very long time. So basically he's like nothing to her. So she uses her vines, ties him down, and then now Storm confronts Genesis. She's telling her, why do you want us to go back to your old ways of no mercy and no pity? But she says those are the ways that made us strong. Those are the ways that made us survive Amnet for a very long time, right? So in that heat of the moment, Sobuna also joins the fight, and Sobuna has now gone in league with Genesis because of the staff whispering words to them. Now, an interesting side note there was Lodas talking to Laktaka. Those two are aware of the whispers of the staff, and they are basically telling. Now Lodas tells Laktaka to do something, because this is not fair, and because of the challenge, they issued the challenge, Laktaka needs to do something about it. So Laktaka says some weird mambo jumbo stuff, something about the stars and all that. I didn't quite understand that. And he sends Storm, Jon-Arn Fire, Kabak away. Then, I don't know, but in that moment, when now they say that that's not allowed, that's an embarrassment, that's a shame, you should always fight in the ring, then Laktaka says if that's a challenge, then so be it. But you could see that Genesis was scared of Laktaka. So I don't know if it was fear. I don't know. Maybe it was not going with her plans, because she clearly has a plan. Because she came alone, she left the horsemen behind, and she left the army behind. So we don't know what plans are going on. So basically, it's heating up, and it seems like we're going to a Genesis war, and maybe a civil war within Arakko, and maybe even a war with Krakoa. So we'll see how things go on. But it was very interesting to see this. For maybe my gripe is, I don't know. Maybe it's because of the whole agenda right now. For me, I always expected that it would be Apocalypse who will come back, basically be in the position that Genesis is. But because now it's Genesis who's leading it, because Genesis had her moment in the sorts of events. So for me, because maybe Marvel, the whole agenda of pushing the female character to the forefront, making the female character the main part of the story, it's it is what it is. You just take it as it is. But it's an interesting story. So let's see what happens from there. This has been African Reads Comics. Please like and subscribe and share, and see you guys in the next one. Thank you.